Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Karan Ahuja, who is the co-founder and CEO of AiVANTA. And this is a B2B AI platform which helps enterprises to create low-cost video content, and it optimizes their cost by almost 80%. Hi, Karan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Priya. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to our discussion today.
So, Karan, request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about Ivanta. What kind of a platform is it?
Oh, sure. I'll start with my background, Priya. I have about 17 years of experience in media and entertainment industry. I have worked with brands like PVR Cinemas, MX Player, Shimaru Entertainment, and my last stint was with Hindustan Times, where I was essentially leading the video business for them. And so I've been at the intersection of content, product, and content monetization. So I've seen the journey of videos. I've seen the journey of how videos are produced, how videos are distributed, and how videos are monetized.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we started observing about 3 years back was how video production as a process can be very uh, can be extremely optimized
Right.
if we use the right applications of Gen AI to it.
Mhm.
It can significantly bring down the cost of production. It can significantly bring down the turnaround time. Turnaround time not only for video production, but also video re-editing and so on and so forth.
Good.
And that, as a business leader, brings a great opportunity because now I can create more content uh, cheaper, faster, get to
Mhm.
the market quickly, react to market with my video content faster, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So that was my introduction to understanding what AI can do when it comes to video as a production segment. However, having said this, we always saw a clear gap when we started looking at exploring AI, and the gap was partly because of how the technology was being developed, and
Mhm.
partly because of how the adoption was happening in the enterprises. So the way technology was getting built up was everybody was focusing on individual elements of technology. So somebody was perfecting the voiceover.
Mhm.
Somebody was perfecting the text to stock video creation. Somebody was trying to perfect the face and avatar and body movement. But and these are very, very hardcore engineering problems to solve.
Right.
So there is no fault in everybody focusing on a niche.
Right.
But that brings me to the next part of the problem, which is the adoption. Now, as an enterprise, we are used to looking at end-to-end solutions where my adoption increases if the solution offers more comprehensive solution to me. And
Mhm.
that's what the gap was. So everybody was trying to perfect individual elements of the video, but nobody was bringing all of them together
Good.
into one-stop video solution. While this still works when it comes to B2C. So you will see major adoption for tools in the text to video space, in audio space, in avatar space. But these were all very B2C use cases. As
Mhm.
a B2C enterprise use case, we had to look for an enterprise grade comprehensive solution.
Okay.
That's the gap that we saw. And that's the gap that we're trying to fill with Evanta. And that's when we decided that we'll basically focus on B2B solution, a SaaS-based B2B platform, which is a one-stop solution when it comes to enterprise use cases.
Got
Now,
it.
these use cases could obviously expand between marketing, sales, Salesforce training, HR, L&D content, and so on and so forth. So we'll keep building more use cases, but the focus is to fulfill the B2B video use case via Avanta.
Got it. Can you give some examples of, how some of the real life implementations have happened and what sort of actual use cases that you have implemented in a B2B scenario?
Sure, sure. So we have worked with major BFSI clients in India, clients like ICICI Bank, Bajaj Allianz, Tata Mutual Funds. uh, Canara HSBC Bank. We've also worked with brands in UAE like Aster Healthcare and Al Wadba Insurance. And most of the use cases have spanned from creating consumer marketing videos, where I'm essentially talking about my financial product,
Mm-hmm.
marketing my financial products videos, or it could range to consumer education content, especially in sectors like healthcare and insurance, which requires a lot of consumer education content.
Right.
What is insurance? What kind of insurance should I buy? What are the health plans? So on and so forth. So a lot of brands wanted to create a lot of content which earlier used to be blogs
Mm-hmm.
into video format, where
Okay.
they are basically using surrogate marketing of having their brand, but basically creating a lot of consumer education content. So that's another use case. The third use case, which we did extensively work on, especially with brands like ICICI Bank, was to create internal communication content. Now, internal communication content could be policy communication, new HR policies, new dress policies, uh, to a lot of L&D content. So every organization has massive need when it comes to learning and training of their corporate teams, their Salesforce teams.
Mm-hmm.
But creating text-based or PPT-based solution becomes difficult to maintain or retain attention, right? And that's when ICICI Bank started using our services to create training content for them. Now
Okay.
imagine doing that training content in 5 different languages,
Hmm.
and you are able to cater to a multilingual workforce of yours.
Right.
So these are some of the kind of use cases that we have worked on.
Understood. I think this multilingual use case is a big pain point when it comes to video, because you can easily
Absolutely.
translate a text content into different
Correct.
languages, but
Correct.
when brands produce content into multiple languages, then they have to
Yeah.
change the text inside the video, and then
Correct.
change the voiceover, and many more things. So
Correct.
how does it work? Can you give a platform workflow, like what kind of a user inside a org would use your platform, and what are the different processes they would go through before they can come up with the final outcome, and
Oh,
what is the timeline of producing one single video?
oh. So I'll give you a use case, and just imagine this use case being then done in different scenarios. Now, let's say I'm a marketing manager for a leading finance service company,
Hmm.
where I've created a marketing collateral where we are basically talking about a product that I'm selling.
Hmm.
That is most likely in English, right? Now I want to use that script or text to create marketing videos
Hmm.
that needs to be distributed across different parts of the country. So what you will do by coming to the AiVANTA platform is to upload that one text document
Hmm.
and choose what all languages do you need video in for the same script. So I can provide my script in English
Hmm.
and then choose English, Hindi, Tamil, and let's say Bengali
Okay.
as my choices of video to be created. And third step is for me to identify what kind of a video template I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I can choose I want a vertical video, I want a horizontal video, what face, what avatar do I want that video to be in.
Hmm.
So all those aesthetic choices are the third step. Once that is done, your job is practically done.
Okay.
What my system will do at the back end is that it will, so my system is based on an agentic model rather than a linear model, which
Hmm.
has been trained on over 10,000 plus videos. So it will read the script in English, understand what needs to be changed for each language. And typically, what gets changed is three things. One, obviously, your voice or your language changes from English to, let's say, Hindi or a Bengali, and so on and so forth. The second is the text within the video,
Hmm.
right? There are a lot of supers and highlights, and all those texts have to be changed. And then the third is the dialects itself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, what we don't put a lot of focus on is not just the language, but also the dialect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about saying the words from English to, let's say, Bengali. It's also how you pronounce those words, right? So that's the third part of our engine. All this gets sort of cumulated together, and the video gets produced.
Got
Now,
it.
unlike a typical B2C video production tool, this is not an instant video creation. It takes a couple of hours. And the reason for that is we also have a human in the loop in the process.
Hmm.
So, what we have realized is that AI will produce and constantly keep improving the quality of the video, but it will be 90% today, it will be 92, it will be 93, but it will be like an asymptotic curve. There
Right.
will always be a little human in the loop required to make sure a degree of quality control.
Got it.
So all our enterprise users who subscribe to our service gets this premium service of human in the loop edit.
Hmm.
And then the video, once it passes through the human QC, which takes about few minutes because the process itself has been streamlined, and then only the video gets delivered to the client. So that's the process. You put in
Got
your
it.
script, you choose your languages, you identify the aesthetics,
Got
and
it.
then my agentic model takes over. Once the agentically video is created, it's passed through a small human in the loop QC, and that's it.
Got it. I think this is interesting because many of I also have tried some AI video tools, and the biggest lack of every tool is that when you give some input to AI, giving an input, text-based input is very easy. Maybe you can
Correct.
show some example, but the
Correct.
output will always have some sort of error. And you
Exactly.
as a non-pro user, you wouldn't have the expertise to edit those videos. So
Exactly.
that is why it has not worked for many of other tools out there. And I'm
Right.
assuming the human in the loop in your system is solving that problem. But I want to ask, what all things the human does? Like, let's say I give a prompt and a video is created. What is the last mile editing or processing that a human does?
So the role of human has, over the last 7 to 8 months, gradually decreased. As I said, we are a agentic LLM based video creator. So every time we produce a video and human is giving the feedback, the agent or the LLM model is learning. So the gradual role of human has decreased. So today, for example, it takes about 10 minutes of a human editor time to QC one video. And typically, what we try to improve during that human QC level is three things. One, is there a slight mismatch in terms of the text placement? So sometimes that certain texts are not at the right place. So those are adjusted. Second, do we need to add any after effects to the video,
Mm-hmm.
like a vector or some shading or some transitions? And then the third part is the video as a whole in a time duration has any knee jerks or abrupt cuts in the video. Rest everything which is aesthetics, dialects, the right translation, all that is already agentically done. So
Got it.
human is only looking at those finer nuances which he can do because we are producing the video in different layers, unlike typical text to video solutions which produce MP4s, which you cannot edit.
Mm-hmm.
We produce videos in layers. So all we are doing is minor adjustment into those layers of the video, which is text placements, minor knee jerks, or adding any transitions. And that's about it.
Got it.
So that's the first layer of human intervention. What we also offer, which no other text to AI or text to video solution offers, is the ability to also receive client feedbacks.
Hmm.
So our workflow process automatically also allows clients to give feedback at a timestamp level.
Okay.
So once those feedbacks are received at a timestamp level, so basically you are watching the video, you can pause the video, give the feedback.
Mm.
So right at that timestamp, feedback gets captured.
Okay.
So those feedbacks are also adjusted by the human, and then
Mm.
the video gets finally shipped back as the final product to the client.
Got it. Curious to know one thing. How do you find these human editors who kind of close the loop of, make it 100% accurate solution? Because the way I understand, these humans are both video editors, skilled
Yeah.
video editors, and they also possess some sort of client servicing and support skill set. So how do you find them?
So the credit goes to my co-founder. His name is Rupak Shah, and Rupak is a seasoned video production professional who has been doing video production since last 10 years.
Okay.
So he has been able to assemble a team of video editors who are comfortable with working in a role which they know that is not similar to a traditional video editing.
Mm.
That's one. And two, we have given that our video editors do not get typically spend their time for 24 hours onto video production table.
Mm.
We have trained and groomed them to also handle client servicing part.
Okay.
So for them, it's an upskilling where they are moving up the chain. So they are able to manage not only the video production or the video editing part, but also have now been trained and have the ability to have client servicing part done as well.
Mm.
So that has been the process. And as I said, because we don't need a lot of video editors, we have handful of video editors who we have handpicked over a period of time who are good at these two skill sets. So that has sort of been our process of building the editing team for us.
Got it. Another challenge I foresee is of scaling up and down. So any product or SaaS companies, what they do is whenever there is a surge in demand, they simply go and buy a new cloud space, and their solution is
Yeah,
available to more customers. But
correct.
because of the human element in this loop, how it would be challenging to scale up rapidly. Let's say very large clients come on board and you don't have the manpower to support that. How do you resolve those challenges?
So for us, we actually understand that this is going to be a challenge, and that is why we constantly invest into our LLM training or our agentic model training, which actually ensures that the amount of time each editor has to spend on every video constantly keeps coming down. So when we started off, typically an editor was spending almost like an hour on every video.
Mm.
Now that time has come down to about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And we are very confident that within a quarter, we'll bring it down to a minute or two.
Mm.
So as we scale, our agentic model is also improving,
Okay.
which means that as we scale, our dependency on number of editors is very sharply decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, the the dependence is not on the scale of editors, but the dependence is more on how we can improve our agentic model so
Right.
that less editors can do more job.
Got it.
So it's like an assembly line. We are making the assembly line more and more efficient robotically
Mm-hmm.
so that less manual effort is required to run a scaled up assembly line. So that's one thing. The second thing that's also happening, Priya, is that we are also focusing a lot on automated video AI solutions, where there is absolutely zero human in the loop kind of videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an instance. So, for example, let's say uh, the insurance proposal plans. Every time an insurance sales agent goes and sells a policy proposal to a client or a potential customer, it produces like a 15 to 18 pager document on the policy, which
Mm-hmm.
is very difficult for a layman to understand.
Okay.
What we have built a solution which we are currently rolling out with one of our clients. is that that 18 pager gets converted into an absolutely personalized 1 minute video generated via AI, absolutely tailored and instantly for that particular client or a customer.
Interesting.
Now imagine lakhs of videos being generated on a monthly basis. That's the kind of use cases that we are trying to now build,
Okay.
which does not require even a single second of a human in the loop.
Hmm.
So that's the other R&D effort that we're trying to create products around, where our scaling is not dependent on a lot of manual videos, but also on these instant personalized tailored videos being built using AI.
Yeah, I think this is interesting because many of the B2B companies are now, investing a lot into video tools,
Yeah,
which salespeople can use to send
correct,
customized videos, maybe
correct.
recording a platform demo customized to the particular customer, or
Correct.
tailoring a solution using video. Earlier, what PPTs used to do, I think the video
Yes,
is replacing that. Uh,
absolutely.
Having said that, another thing I just want to explore. You said your platform is combining the expertise of different other platforms to make it suitable for a B2B audience. So
Correct.
can you tell in the back end what sort of APIs do you use, or which other platforms do you use to generate different components of the video?
So we have moved away from branded APIs, Priya. So when we started off, when we were basically trying to figure out as a startup the right product market fit, we were using off-the-shelf API solutions of, let's say, a Hagen for Avatar, 11 Labs for voice,
Hmm.
so on and so forth. But we always knew that this is not going to be the way we will build our core tech stack. So now we have, once we understood what the product market fit is, we started gradually letting go of off-the-shelf APIs because we didn't want to be dependent on
Hmm.
an external solution.
Right.
And we started building those in-house using OpenStacks. So what has happened over the last 6 months, especially, is all the tech has started to now percolate into open world,
Okay.
open source world. So, for example, GAN networks are improving avatar qualities on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
right? We are using small language models rather than OpenAI's LLMs.
Hmm.
Again, open source approach. So, what we've done is specifically around LLM, avatar, voice, and video editing. We have gradually, initially, everything was an enterprise grade API.
Okay.
Now everything is now gradually moving towards open source, which is becoming our core tech.
Mm-hmm.
So we have gradually moving away from, let's say, a Hagen for Avatar or 11 Labs for voice and so on and so forth. But we still use those, especially when it comes to quicker solutions. So we still continue to use, for example, 11 Labs
Hmm.
for voices.
Right.
We actually create massive data set of voices along with 11 labs. So we
Hmm.
are also training our own models
Hmm.
while building it or while relying on, let's say, currently on 11 labs. But the gradual rollout will be to eventually use open source and kind of make all those tech stacks in-house.
Got it. And how do you price, if you can, take us through the pricing model that you have developed? Because this is where many of the founders struggle because they don't
Yeah,
know how to price the product correctly. So
correct.
what are the, what have you considered the fundamental unit of pricing? Do you price on the many number of seconds produced or number of languages? How do you incorporate different complexities that come along with the video production into the pricing?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great question. And having worked in video businesses, having commissioned videos for donkey's years. Again, with Rupak's experience also of having produced those videos, we always knew what the price benchmarks are for a typical video creation through traditional methods,
Okay.
right? So if I commission, let's say for example, a minute long video, an explainer minute long video with a face or a anchor, it will easily cost me, even at a scale, nothing less than 20,000, 25,000 rupees.
Mm.
Correct? So we knew that that is the benchmark that we need to start with, and then sell the benefit of that reduction rather than going after the race of $1 a minute, $2 a minute pricing, which typical B2C text to video solutions sell. Because that's not the product that enterprises are looking for. They're looking at high grade enterprise quality videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not competing with $1 or a $2 kind of a product, which are more designed for B2C use cases.
Mm-hmm.
So what we came down to is the logic that our unit will always remain the same, which is a minute of video produced.
Mm-hmm.
So where we were typically producing a video which was costing somewhere around $250 to $500 to make in a traditional way, we wanted to position that as $50 video
Got it.
rather than competing it with a $2 video. So currently our pricing hovers around roughly $50 per minute of video produced, which the way we position this is that this is a significant reduction,
Mm.
almost like an 80%, 90% reduction from what you are spending today in a high grade production led videos that you are producing at a scale. So that is how we have been able to create a positioning for ourselves, which is premium, which also allows us to afford human in the loop, which again reinforces the premiumness of our content.
Okay.
And that's what enterprise grade solution means for us.
Got it. Uh, I understand that we are now expanding geographically, and I was told that the company has found good success in markets like Dubai. So,
Yeah,
can you tell us about the, what made you to expand globally, and how do you shortlist the regions to target, and what kind of user behavior have you been seeing from different markets? Because some markets like India where the SaaS doesn't work, you have to give lot of hand holding to the customer. It becomes to the
right,
point it becomes a services company.
right,
So
right.
but Dubai and other markets are not like that. So what have you learned about user behavior?
So for us, it was a natural progression, Priya. So, our philosophy was very clear from day one that we will build in India, but we'll build it for the world. And in that philosophy, UAE was a natural extension of what we were doing in India. Given the multi-ethnicity of markets like UAE, especially Dubai, we were able to position ourselves with multilingual capabilities that we had actually built back in India.
Okay.
So that positioning made a lot of sense for us. Second, factor for us was being a natural extension of looking at UAE as one expansion point for GCC as first segment,
Mhm.
and then you're looking at UAE also to expand into markets like Europe and US. So for us, UAE is a stepping stone to first expand across GCC and then use the same base to expand into markets like Europe and US.
Mhm.
Now, coming to the point of the whole SaaS sensibilities, I think the sensibilities are very similar.
Mhm.
It depends on what the use case is. So even in India, our SaaS model works very smoothly for certain use cases.
Right.
In certain cases, we do have to push into service sort of hand holding. But that's an adoption journey that we have realized is going to happen.
Mm.
AI as a technology, AI as an ecosystem is still very new. There are apprehensions, there are fears, there are concerns on, let's say, privacy and so on and so forth, right? Plus, we are still competing with traditional shoot as a process.
Mm.
So client mentality is still about, those iterations in the video and so on and so forth. So the way we are solving this is by automating our workflows.
Got it.
Let everything be automated. You submit your script, you get your feedback, you submit your final video, and everything gets automated. So by doing this, we have been able to navigate the SaaS to service challenge. But the challenge was similar in both regions.
Hmm.
One obviously positive about markets like UAE is that these markets gives us slightly better pricing edge
Right.
because our tech cost, editing cost, and all other operational costs are in India. We do get an arbitrage of pricing,
Hmm.
so that's definitely an advantage to us.
Got it. Are you also looking at expanding to other geographies like US, Europe, where also you'll get a pricing advantage?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the way to grow. We are looking at building plans for US markets and European markets. The video is as a medium is universal,
Hmm.
which means that the product is a universal product. We just need to figure out the right pricing and GTM approach.
Hmm.
Products are scalable today. It is very, very easy to build safe and scalable infrastructures.
Hmm.
So all we need to figure out is the right GTM and the right pricing. And that's the way to grow. So
Got it.
that's a linear progression for us.
So, this is my final question. So far you have spent some good amount of time into video, and you have also understood the space of AI.
Yeah.
What did you say is the future in the space of business and video production and AI? How do you combine these things together, and what can other founders who are listening to us expect in terms of video AI, and how video would be and can be leveraged in business context in future? What have you learned? What are you projecting in next say 5 years time frame?
I think one mega trend is that most of the business communication will move away from text
Hmm.
towards more multimodal communication,
Okay.
which could be video as well as audio. So that's going to definitely happen. With the penetration of video communication mediums, whether it is Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts and uh, YouTube long form itself,
Mm.
the amount of penetration that we are seeing in video communication or in video consumption, especially, will definitely encourage enterprises to move as much of their communication into this. SEO is a struggling medium now.
Mm.
SEO is a battle which is now very hard to beat,
Right.
especially for enterprises, not publications, but especially for business enterprises who were earlier relying on, let's say, blogs to talk about their products. Nobody has patience to read long
Mm.
articles or PDFs or
Right.
white papers are no more relevant. Podcasts have become more
Correct.
relevant format. So one mega trend to understand is that business communication, whether it is internal communication or external communication, whether
Mm.
I'm talking to my customers, whether I'm talking to my employees, whether I'm talking to my dealers, partners, vendors, everything will move towards video communication. That's one. Second extension to this is that videos will become more personalized.
Mm.
I expect the video to address me as Karan. I expect the video to talk about my insurance plan, my telecom plan, my real estate requirements, my healthcare lab reports.
Mm.
So the videos will become more personalized. So the personalization has to become another mega trend.
Okay.
And then the same extension to this is that videos will also become extremely localized. So personalized is calling me Karan,
Mm.
but localized is calling me Marhaba Karan or Hello Karan or Hey Karan or Namaste Karan, right?
Mm.
So the dialects, the slangs, the tonalities, the attire, for example, has to
Right.
become localized.
Mm.
So these are the three things that we feel are going to drive how businesses are going to interact.
mm,
They're going to go more videos. They will have to create more personalized content, and that content has to be also locally sensitive.
mm,
So these are the three key trends which I feel AI will drive uh, into the next 2 to 3 years. And that's going to be the way forward when it comes to business communication. So that will also change how businesses invest into
mm,
communication,
right.
the ad flows, paid content. Those are the spaces where money will also flow towards
Mm,
when it comes to video as the primary ad medium, for example. So
right.
that's the other layer. So that's the, I think if somebody is looking to be in this space, uh, especially when it comes to business,
Mm,
definitely look at video as a medium of communication. Look at building more solution that allows businesses to become more personalized
mm,
and more localized. That's the key message that I can give, at least from the video lens.
got it. I think even in my experience also, I have been seeing multiple companies are now, converting their earlier traditional marketing teams into more
Yeah,
video focused. They are hiring
correct.
video designers, and lot of videos they are producing. So production of video
Yeah.
also has exponentially grown, both personalized videos and
Yes.
content heavy videos. So yeah, I think with on that note, we will wrap up the session. Thanks for joining us, Karan. It was a pleasure, and a lot of insights we got from you. And I would say my best for the venture that you are building.
Thank you so much, Priya. I think it was a good conversation, and I definitely enjoyed. And thanks for having me around.
Thank you, Karan. Thank you.
Thank you so much.